Hi.
Okay. You are running frantically down a dark path. You can't see much in front of you, but a faint light that seems to get further and further away when you try to get closer to it. Running becomes harder due to some sort of quicksand, or maybe even branches from trees tugging on your legs, pulling you back into the darkness. You look back to see the cause of your panic, to get away from the evil chasing you. Maybe it's a monster or even your greatest fear. You try to scream, but no sound comes out. Everything is foggy yet so distinct. You take one wrong step and you're awake. What is a dream? By definition, a dream is a series of thoughts, images, and sensations occurring in a person's mind during sleep. Dreams make perfect sense when you're having them, but the next morning we're just left confused. Everyone has had a time when they wake up not knowing what had just happened in their mind. So what is it? What is actually going on in here? A dream is something the dreamer is aware of to some extent. They can actually be aware of the settings and surroundings the dream entails. This is the case even for those who say they can't remember their dreams. Even for those of you who can't remember now what you dreamed last night, there once was a time when you were aware of your dream, when you were having it. The four elements of dreaming break up this known but unknown act. They are condensation, displacement, symbolization, and secondary revision. Each of these is a step into our dreaming process. There are also meanings that come with our dreams. Materialistic interpretation is a more literal way of thinking about dreams. Spiritual interpretation is a belief that dreams can actually mean something. What we dream is not our reality. However, it is an interpretation of either our desirable or apathetic dreaming. The truth about dreaming is simple yet very complicated. The legendary Chinese philosopher, Zhuangzi, was said to have had a dream that he was flying around as a butterfly, and then he awoke to find that he was a man. But he had the eerie feeling upon awakening of not knowing whether he was a butterfly, dreaming he was a man, or a man dreaming he was a butterfly. We may even find ourselves in these situations at some times. We try to understand so clearly what our dreams are, only to wake up and realize we don't even know what just happened. Have you ever thought about how our bodies can be asleep, but our minds can be very much awake? The brain switches into a mode called lucid dreaming. This means that we are in a deep sleep and a deep dream, but our brains are constantly thinking and creating. Lucid dreaming is when we can actually control our dreams. This can be practiced and learned. A big part of our dreams come from some sort of a memory. One class of dreams comes from memories found in the procedural memory system of our brains. This is a section that stores information. It helps us remember things we haven't fully learned in a while, like riding a bike or playing chess. Has anyone here ever had a dream that has reoccurred? Maybe when you were little, you had the same nightmare several times, or maybe even a happy dream, so incredible that you remember every little detail. One dream I distinctly remember from my childhood takes place at my grandparents' house in California. This house was big, always full of people, so oftentimes as kids, we would just spend the days and evenings in the backyard, exploring near the nearby forests and gardens outside. This dream is one of those dreams that does not fully make sense, or at least that's what I've always thought of it as. I see myself playing at dusk outside near all the trees and flowers and gardens. The first thing I do is slide down a log like it's a slide at the park. Except this slide doesn't have a flooring at the end of it. The dark tunnel I slide down leads to a cloud, a white, fluffy, soft pile of barely nothing. I look around me and I start to float, not knowing where I'm going. Uneasy feelings begin to fill my mind. Fear takes over, and all of a sudden, I'm in a dark place with no ceiling or walls or floor. There isn't even a ground. If I were to fall off this cloud, I don't know where it would take me. Part of me would want to roll off and see where the endless darkness would take me. When really, I know that if I do fall, there is no end. There would be no impact, no movement, so how would I wake up? The most common dreams involving past memories just include fragments of our life awake. This means that we may dream of things we're involved with, school, friends, work, maybe a book we're reading or the movie that we've seen the night before. The 4 elements of dreaming are condensation, displacement, symbolization, and secondary revision. Condensation is specifically the thought or image that comes from the ideas in our minds. It's the physical pictures that we see when we're dreaming. Displacement is the emotional meaning of a dream, if it has any background meanings to it. Symbolization is what symbolization is. Objects or events in a dream relating to some part of reality. Secondary revision mixes all of these elements to form the dream. There are meanings and specific interpretations that come with our dreaming. Materialistic interpretation is a relation of man's reality and man's dreaming. These can include consequences, decisions, and man's fears. A lot of the foundations that start the idea of our dreams can be built from our recent experiences and thoughts from reality. Spiritual interpretation can be a result of faith, maybe an answer to a prayer or revelation from God. This is a relation between man's spirituality and testimony in his subconscious thinking as well. Spiritual interpretation can include future possibilities, maybe warnings or just comforting messages. What we dream isn't always our true reality. Interpretations, symbolisms, and metaphors, examples, revelations, theories, and possibilities are the realities of our dreams. Our thoughts, feelings, concerns, and fears can all be related to our dreaming. What we can control is our awareness in our dreaming. The next time you dream, prepare for it. Become familiar with staying aware of your surroundings when you're awake. Our sleeping brains are just as active as our waking brains. While there are beliefs that our dreams are windows into our subconscious mind, there's still plenty of unknown factors that play a part in our dreaming. Remember, what you dream is not a reality, but even an interpretation of a wishful or feared event.